Your grandfather worked his whole life and did everything right. He went to work, he paid off his house, and every month, without fail, he put money into a savings account because that is what responsible people did. That was the deal. Work hard, save your money, and the money keeps its value. But here is the problem. That deal is broken. Somewhere between the year 1971 and today, the entire meaning of the word safe was quietly rewritten, and almost nobody noticed it happen. Today, we are going to walk through the math, the actual math, that proves holding cash is no longer a safe habit. It is a slow, guaranteed loss. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why. To understand why cash stopped being safe, we have to go back to August of 1971. For most of the 20th century, the US dollar was tied to gold. Every dollar in circulation was, in theory, backed by a fixed amount of gold sitting in a vault. That link, known as the gold standard, put a hard ceiling on how much money could ever be printed. Then, on August 15th, 1971, President Richard Nixon went on television and ended that link. It is now known as the Nixon Shock. The government said it was temporary. It was not. Once the dollar was no longer tied to a physical asset, it became what economists call a fiat currency. Money that has value simply because a government says it does. And the moment that ceiling was removed, the money supply started to expand, continuously, permanently. Here is what that expansion actually did to your money. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics data, $1 in 1971 had the same purchasing power as roughly $8.25 today. Flip that around, and it means the dollar in your pocket right now buys about 12% of what it bought in 1971. 88% of its value, gone. Not stolen in a sudden crash, not lost in a single bad year. Erased slowly, silently, 1% at a time, year after year, for over 5 decades. And gold, the very thing the dollar used to be pegged to, tells the same story from the other direction. In 1971, an ounce of gold was priced at $35. Today, it trades in the thousands. The metal did not get more valuable. The measuring stick got smaller. Now here is where it gets personal, because this isn't just about abstract prices. It is about your paycheck. For nearly 30 years after World War II, from 1948 until the early 1970s, there was a simple, almost sacred relationship in the American economy. As workers became more productive, their pay rose right alongside them. Produce more value, earn more money. That was the deal. Then, right around 1971 to 1973, that relationship broke. According to research from the Economic Policy Institute, productivity in the United States has grown roughly 2.5 times faster than typical worker pay since that decoupling began. Workers kept producing more. They just stopped getting paid proportionally more for it. Put a concrete number on it. Economic analysis has estimated that if median household income had simply kept pace with productivity growth since 1970, the typical American household would be earning tens of thousands of dollars more per year than it does today. That massive gap didn't vanish. It went somewhere. And wherever it went, it was not into your savings account. So think about what that means, layered on top of everything we just covered. Your wages were already structurally struggling to keep pace with the economy you were helping to build. And the dollars you did manage to save were losing value in the background the entire time. It is not one problem. It is 2 problems, compounding against you, simultaneously. Let us make this concrete. Let us talk about the standard savings account. Say you have $10,000 sitting in a basic savings account. Historically, the average interest rate on a basic savings account has hovered somewhere around 0.4% a year. Meanwhile, inflation, even in a completely calm year, tends to run around 3%. Do that math. Your money is growing at 0.4%, but its actual purchasing power is shrinking at 3%. That means every single year, you are losing roughly 2.6% of what your money can actually buy, while your bank statement tells you the number went up. That is the trap. The number on the screen goes up. The number of things you can afford to buy with it goes down. Your bank statement is lying to you about the only thing that ever mattered. Extend that $10,000 out 1 decade, sitting quietly, safely, in that account. And it is easy to be looking at a real purchasing power loss of more than 20%, even though every single monthly statement showed a bigger number than the one before it. This is why the phrase safe investing needs to be put in scare quotes, because there is no such thing as standing completely still in this system. You are always moving. The only choice you actually have is whether you are moving up or moving down. Hoarding cash feels responsible. It feels cautious. It feels like the absolute opposite of gambling. But mathematically, it is a guaranteed, scheduled loss. It just happens slowly enough that most people never notice it happening to them. Here is the uncomfortable part. This isn't a math problem. It is a psychology problem. Losing money in the stock market feels like an immediate risk because you can watch the red number drop in real time. Losing money to inflation feels like absolute safety because the digits on your screen never drop at all. Your brain is wired to fear the visible loss and ignore the invisible one. But the invisible one is the one that has been running uninterrupted since 1971. The entire idea that cash equals safety was built during a completely different monetary system. One where the dollar was anchored to something physical, and the currency itself didn't quietly shrink while you slept. That system ended in 1971. The instinct never got the memo. So, where does that leave you? This is not a video telling you to panic or to chase risky day trades or to do anything reckless with your capital. It is the exact opposite. It is about seeing the actual playing field clearly. SAFE was never about avoiding the stock market or avoiding risk altogether. Real safety is about making sure your money grows faster than the currency it is denominated in is shrinking. Anything short of that isn't caution. It is just a slower way of losing. The generation that told you to save your cash was giving you the best advice available for a system that stopped existing in 1971. The question now isn't whether to keep your money completely still. It is what you are going to do instead. If this broke down something you had never actually seen laid out in numbers before, subscribe to Bold Ledger and turn on notifications. I will see you in the next breakdown.